At the beginning of every journey, it's important for us to realize one thing, that there's normally darkness. You know, in the book of Genesis, it said that there was darkness. Darkness filled the whole surface. And there had to be some form of sorting, some form of organization, some form of sifting, some form of understanding, which is what we always try to do at the beginning of every session. So you've made it to the first session. I'm happy for you. This is the beginning for you to start to understand that there's some sifting you need to do. Currently, you feel frustrated, you feel dissatisfied, and I have felt that way too. For me, the tipping point was when I went out for Sunday lunch with my family and we were all dining. But I always like to have a cup of tea, so I ordered for my cup of tea, which took some time coming. My family ordered for soda, and we were deep into meal before my tea came. And when I got my cup of tea and I sipped it, there's always this thrill I get. And my husband, in his usual teasing manner, took my cup of tea and sipped out of it. I thought he was going to give it back to me, but then he continued drinking it. And I asked him back for my cup of tea, but he kept on sipping it and telling the children, no, this is really nice, this is really nice. I asked him again, give me my cup of tea. Something as simple as that. But you see, he didn't give it back to me, which was not the first time. But on that day, something within me snapped and I started to cry there in public. I was crying, tears were coming out of my eyes, and everybody was shocked. My son was, Mommy, what's the problem? My daughter was shocked. Mommy, what's the problem? I couldn't explain what the problem was, but it was this sense of frustration that had been bottling in, this sense of frustration that I didn't have the control. I kept on saying, I kept on trying to get out, but something else was controlling it. Now my husband wanted to control my cup of tea, and I started to cry. And at that point, all the years of frustration and hiding and depression that I had been trying to cope with came to the fore. And when I managed to get myself under control, I looked at my husband and I said, I can't do this anymore. I looked at my children and I said, I can't do this anymore. I need to get out of this job. It's killing me. I would give you 2 years. I would pay for your tuition. But after that, I have to get out. I have to do something for me. I have to find who I am again. And so began my journey. And I believe for some of you, you've had such feelings. You've had this feeling of frustration that you are lost in the midst of everything. You need to find yourself. You need to discover yourself. But the truth is, at the beginning of every journey, like I said, there's a form of darkness, a form of confusion. For me, I had started business in the past and I was not able to succeed. And every time I tried to get out of my job, either look for another job, something always didn't make it happen. So I had been in the same job for 20 years, 22 years, and I was tired. And I knew that it was not serving me anymore. I didn't understand what I was doing there anymore. But because I needed the financial support, I stayed there. So that day I decided I needed to discover who I was. I needed to even understand why I needed this change. Why wasn't I satisfied with the job? What was the problem? Why did I feel frustrated? Why did I feel unhappy? Why did I feel as if I had lost myself? Was it just my mind playing tricks or was it actually happening? So I started this journey into self discovery to understand exactly what was going on and to get myself out of it. And what I found out helped me to start taking steps. And that is what I want to share with you in this session. You see, there's a tool I'm going to introduce to you in this session. It's called the Clarity Tool. And the Clarity Tool does some things. It helps us to identify some things that will make us take action. And at the end of the day, I will tell you what I identified and why I was feeling the need for change and the frustration. So what I want us to do now is to take a quick clarity tool exercise. You will find it in your worksheet, but what I want you to do, if you have not printed it out, I want you to print it out now. Take a pause, print it out, or take a sheet of paper and a pen, and let's start. I will walk you through. So anytime you're ready, you can pause and then join me. Okay? So I guess you've paused and come back. The first aspect of the clarity tool is to identify where we are right now. Where are we right now? Where are you right now in your journey? On that day, where I was a pain point. I was in a state of frustration. I wanted to get out of my job. I had started businesses that had not succeeded. I was low on self confidence. I was filled with fear. I would go to work in the morning and I used to have palpitation. Every phone call was a fear. And I was heading a department, so I didn't know why I was so afraid. I mean, I knew I had the skills, but I was just so unconfident with myself. I lacked the self confidence, and whatever I did to bring it back just was not working. So for me, the position I was there was I lacked self confidence. My health was failing me. My confidence level was zero. You know, I was frustrated. Financially, I was struggling because I had to take on the tuition of the children. I had to do a number of things. My relationship was also not going well because I was always tired. I was not a good mother. I didn't have time to bond with people, my family members, my friends. My relationship was zero, so I had no control over my life. So that was the state I was in. So write down the state you are in currently, right now, while you're taking this course. How you are financially, how you are spiritually, how you are emotionally, how you are health wise. Then the next point is the second point you want to analyze in the clarity tool is where do you want to be? Where are you going to? Imagine in the next 4 months, in the next 1 year, myself and you, we are talking and we're reminiscing, oh, when you started this course. And then you tell me, oh, at that point, that was where I was. But today, I have started my business. I have 2 branches. I'm employing this. I'm serving this number of people. Or you're telling me, then my income was zero. Now I'm making 100 grand every month. Now I'm opening stores up and down. Now financially, I'm not in lack. Now spiritually, I'm up to get my relationship with my children and my husband. It's wonderful. I have control over my time. I have control over my life. I'm happy. So where is it you want to go to? Okay, you can pause at any time and write down where you want to go to. And the third point is why? Why do you want to go there? Why do you want to go to where you're going to? Your why is supposed to give you an emotion. That's the emotion, that's the feeling. Why do you want to have 100,000 a month? Why do you want to get out of your job and open a business? Why do you want to serve these people? Who do you want to serve? Why do you want to get out of your job? Why do you want to build a new business? Why is it important to you that your relationship with yourself and your husband or your children is better than it is right now? Let's really know your why. Why do you want to get to what you have anchored down as where you're going to? Okay, then the final part of the clarity tool is what capabilities you need to get there, what tools you need to be who you want to be in the next 2 years, in the next 1 year, in the next 10 years. What tools do you need? You need to start saving. You need to start investing in yourself. You need to start believing more in yourself. You need to take courses. Do you need an accountability partner so that when you start the next business, you're able to complete it? You need to answer those questions. So you have 4 sessions. You can pause at any time and answer the question and then come back to this video. Okay, I would assume you answered your question. Please, it's important for you to take all these exercises seriously because they will give you the success you need. These are proven steps that I have used and many people before me, and they found success. So, before we round out on this section, I will tell you what I discovered when I took the clarity tool. I discovered where I was a place where health wise, personal wise, relationship wise, I didn't want to be. I was at my lowest. And where I wanted to go to was to be in front of up to 50 women in a room, telling them about how to be empowered, how they can start their businesses, how they can live a fulfilling life, not being tied to a job. You see, my job was draining me. I was spending up to 5 hours every day commuting. I was working weekends. I had no time for my family. And where I wanted to go to was a place where I could come and talk to women. I could empower them. I could give them soft skills on how to develop their confidence, remove fear, and start business, how to network, how to meet people. That was the key to me, to stand before people and to encourage them and to strengthen them. And why was that important to me? Because I will tell you later the story of my mother who worked so many years. She worked for 25 years in the corporate, and when she resigned and came out, she went back into debt. And so many other women, we labor for the children, we labor for the husband, we labor for the home, and then when we retire and resign, we're not able to sustain ourselves. I didn't want that for myself, and I didn't want that for so many other people. But because I was not able to transition from being corporate to an entrepreneur, it was very difficult for me and it was frustrating. And the more I tried to tell people, the more they didn't understand. So that was my why. I was tired of my job. I was tired of not having time for myself. So I anchored into that. And the tools I needed, the capability I needed was just the knowledge. I needed that knowledge. I needed to have a mentor who had done it. I needed to have a coach who would hold me accountable, and I needed to believe in myself. And when I was able to achieve that and understand that, it made a change for me. It started that movement. It propelled me and kept me going. So please, I want you to do this success work. I want you to do this exercise seriously, and I want you to meet me in the next session. Thank you. See you in the next session.